Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Jenna and I'm Empress of Horror. So the film I'm going to be talking about today is Drag Me to Hell. So Drag Me to Hell was released in 2009 and it was directed by Sam Raimi, who brought us the original Evil Dead movies. This film is starring Alison Loman, Justin Long and Lorna Raver. And this film scored a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I think is ridiculously high because personally I do not like this movie. This film follows a young woman called Christine who's working as a loan officer. One day an old woman comes into her workplace and asks for an extension on her mortgage. However, the old woman is told that as she's already had 2 extensions on her mortgage, they won't be able to grant her another one, which means her house will be repossessed. She begs Christine for help, however, Christine turns her down and the old woman curses her. At first, Christine doesn't actually believe that the old woman has cursed her, but when things in her life start getting more and more hectic, she soon finds herself doing unimaginable things to try and break the curse before it's too late. So I remember seeing this movie when it was released back in 2009. I think I was about 13 at the time, and the one thing I remember about this movie is hating it. So I thought, well, I haven't seen this movie in over a decade, so maybe my opinion might have changed on it. Maybe me, as a more seasoned horror fan, I might be open to this film now and I might not think it was as stupid as it was and I might actually enjoy it. So I watched it a couple of days ago and let me tell you, 13-year-old Jenna was not wrong. This film is just bad. So bad that I felt instantly compelled to need to do my next review on it. Now, I am a Sam Raimi fan. I do really love the Evil Dead movies, and he also did some other horror films which are really good too. But Sam Raimi took a break from horror in the early 2000s and began creating the Spider-Man series. Drag Me to Hell was his return to horror in 2009, and I was really surprised when I learned that he was the director because I hated this film. I watched quite a few reviews before I sat down to do my review, and I was quite surprised at the amount of people who liked this film. I don't know if I'm just like completely missing the point or I just don't get it, but yeah, I have intense feelings of dislike for this movie and I just thought I would voice them. So we're now just going to jump into the spoiler section. So if you haven't seen this movie and you don't want me to ruin it for you, go watch it and then come back. Okay, so I usually start off by saying things that I liked about movies, and I suppose I should probably do that for this one. However, there's really not a lot that I liked. But yeah, let's give it a go. To be honest, in my opinion, the only good aspects of this movie were the technical aspects, and that mainly being the cinematography and the way this film was shot. With Sam Raimi being the director of this film, I do feel like he has a very unique directing style, so that was the only kind of part of this film I thought was quite good. In his movies, he does use quite dynamic shots. If he wants you to notice something, he will go out of his way to make sure that it's shot in a way where you notice the things and you pick up on his clues that he's leaving for you. That's kind of my view on what I liked about this film. So now on to things I didn't like. I think the biggest issue I had with this film was that it was really disgusting, and I mean disgusting as in it made me want to throw up. And I know what a lot of people are gonna say, well, it's a horror movie and it's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable, but this film really, it was gross and it was really nasty and I had to look away. Like, there's not a lot that I look away from. Like I've said it before, I love Saw. I like Hostel. I can sit and watch that and I'm not bothered, but the grossness, it's just a different, it's not gore, it's gross. It just really put me off of it. There's just far too many mouth things happening. There's like sickness that goes in people's mouths and eyeballs in mouths, and at one point the old lady's attacking her in the car and her teeth get knocked out and she's like trying to bite this girl but she has no teeth, and so it's just her like disgusting old lady mouth, and she's like pure like nomming like on this girl's chin, and she's like half in her mouth. It's like, I really didn't like it. I really didn't like it. It was so gross. The old lady as a character, she was so disgusting. There's also the scene where the old lady comes into the bank. She was sitting and she took her teeth out, and like, for one, the noise that her teeth made coming out, it was horrible. And you could see like bugs all over her false teeth. He almost managed to make like her saliva like this kind of brownie colour, and I cannot deal with that. It was so disgusting. They just do a really good job of being horrible. Another thing I really didn't like about this movie was the comedy aspects of it. It wasn't actually until I had watched some movie reviews about this film that I realised that it was supposed to be comedic. That's not really the way it came across to me. In my opinion, this film just came off as stupid and just really silly. It just didn't really work for me. I don't know if I maybe just didn't get the comedy. I certainly did not find it funny. For me personally, dark comedies are a bit of a hit or a miss. I think a good example of a horror film that has really effective and funny comedy in it is Get Out. I love that movie, and it's terrifying and it's horrifying, but they do really well to kind of balance the comedy and horror. However, with this film, I just didn't get the comedy. There's a scene where she is in the bank and she gets a nosebleed, and then the blood just sprays like literally everywhere, like all over the bank people, and I did not find it funny. I just thought it was stupid. There's another scene where she's at dinner with her boyfriend and they're sitting at this table and she's like starting to see things, and she just like starts throwing cutlery and plates at the wall, and she's like, leave me alone, but really over the top. And I think that was supposed to be funny too, maybe. I just didn't find it funny. It was just really stupid. It was just so stupid. There's also just some characters in it that are, I think they're supposed to be funny again, but in my opinion, they just don't come across to me as funny. They just come across as like, one, really bad acting and just really bad script work. Which brings me to the acting in this movie, which was shocking. Now, I do like Justin Long. I usually quite enjoy seeing him in movies, and I thought he was going to make this film better, but his acting in this film was just not that good. Alison Loman in this film too, I just didn't think she did a very good job. I don't know if it was just the way that she was told to play the character, but she just seemed like she was acting. It just all seemed really false. I mean, don't get me wrong, the script that she had to work with was terrible. The writing in this film just was really bad. Some of the things the characters said and like the dialogue was just really, really cheesy sometimes. There's a scene where she's in her house and she's been told that she needs to make a small animal sacrifice in order to try and stop this demon from taking her soul. And she's got a little cat in her house, and so she's like got this knife and she's like, here kitty, here kitty. And you're supposed to believe that she's just gonna go and kill her own cat. Like, she's already told you that she's a vegetarian and she's just gonna go and kill her own pets. Like, I'm sorry, but I know that you're supposed to believe that she's like desperate in this situation, but surely if you were gonna kill an animal, you wouldn't kill your own pet. Also, side note, this cat is a kitten, like a literal tiny baby kitten. I have two cats, both of which I had since they were a kitten. Are you honestly trying to tell me that right now her life isn't entirely consumed by this kitten? Because let me just tell you, having a tiny cat is entirely all consuming. Like, I just don't believe it. She also doesn't appear to have named this cat because she keeps on calling it, oh hey kitty. Like, have you not named it? Does it not have a name? Just like little things that I'm just like, it was just really stupid. And then we have the most stupid scene in the movie, which is the seance scene. So Alison Loman pays this woman $10,000 to try and break this curse basically and get the demon to leave her alone. So they're all sitting around this round table doing the kind of classic like fingers touching seance kind of focus on the demon, and they bring in a goat, and they're like, once the demon goes into the goat, we need to kill the goat, and then the demon will be gone and you'll be fine. But the demon goes into the goat, and what happens? The goat starts talking. It was just too much. I just couldn't take this film seriously. It was ridiculous. A talking goat. It just really took the horror element out of it for me. It was just stupid. I was just like, really? Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just not the right horror fan to watch this movie, because I just found it quite ridiculous. There were also some uses of CGI in this film where I feel like practical effects might have been a bit more effective. There's this one scene where she's in a tool shed and the ghost of the woman who cursed her comes back and she's like attacking her, and then here's another stupid thing, a literal anvil, like from the cartoons, drops on her head, and all this like eyeball and brain mush sprays at her face. But it's CGI and it looks so fake. It's so blatantly obvious that it's CGI, and they could have done that with practical effects. Like the shot, for all it was literally just her getting hit in the face with some eyeballs and gunk. They could have absolutely done that with real practical effects and have it look way more effective. So I do want to apologise if any of you love this movie and I have just completely shat all over it. But these are just my feelings, and if you couldn't tell, I really hated it. So I'm gonna rate this film a 2 out of 10. And yeah, I feel kind of bad for that, but I really, really did not like this movie, and I couldn't bring myself to score it any higher, so 2. I did want to score it just a 1, but I felt like that was a bit too harsh, so the score of a 2 is down to Sam Raimi and his good use of cinematography. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, if you didn't see on my Instagram story earlier this week, I'm super excited to announce that Saw is the first film series that we're going to be talking about for Franchise Friday. So my first Franchise Friday episode will be up next Friday. I think I was maybe a little bit optimistic in expecting to be able to do 2 videos per week, especially now that the COVID restrictions are easing and things are opening back up again. I think what I'll actually end up doing is do a Franchise Friday episode every second week. I'm so excited to start off with the Saw film series. Thank you so much to everyone who participated in my Instagram polls and helped me decide on the Saw movie. I was kind of secretly hoping I would get to do Saw first, so yay, it worked out quite well. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll be back next week with my first ever Franchise Friday. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye!